let me hit record before I forget where I am again.
Live. I
Oh,
see.
okay. All right. We're live. Everything's fine. I do not have it together enough to share. So when Ray pops in, speaking of
Welcome to the
which,
show.
he's supposed to be on standby. But then again, he's not in the studio, so yeah,
Right.
we're gonna have fewer views than normal on this one because it's not even close to the normal scheduling. But I'm glad we're here anyway.
We're an Easter egg. This is just an extra.
Yeah, basically, I'm still in I can't remember which one it is, grief or mourning, the one that fucks you up.
Well, when you're in mourning, it is the natural reaction to the loss of something,
Right.
and it's a certain amount of time. I don't think the grief the grief abates when you find a new purpose for how you feel. You channel that energy into something new that would honor that person.
Yeah.
That that's the way out of mourning. Mourning lasts.
Right.
What did they say? Like 3 to 6 months. You're just not yourself. You're not normal, and we're still very close to that time frame for you. So
Hey, Vic. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. Is I'm still in that space. Like I literally keep forgetting when I am.
yeah,
Like I'll blink and it's 5
truly,
episodes of How I Met Your Mother later. You
right.
know,
Or I'll
so
be right back, and like 2 hours later, oh, I'm so sorry.
I'll be back. Yeah. Oh! This is gonna be entertaining. I picked a fight on Twitter.
You did what?
Oh yeah, I did. I announced that I'm going to be streaming Harry Potter in protest of the persecution of J.K. Rowling.
To explain to people you don't see us for the first 5 minutes, it's our goof off time, and it's also, time for like Raymond to share to everybody, pretty please.
Yeah, Ray. I do not have the spoons to share the show. Please, Ray, help your old man out. But yeah, the show doesn't officially start until about 5 minutes in. And so
Right,
this is like time for like goofs, bloopers, things like that. It just like get the final wiggles out.
right.
It's commonly known for long term fans, but I have terribleifying, terrible, terribleifying, whatever stage fright.
Terrible, terrifying stage fright.
Yes,
Yes, yes. And there's no need because these people are our friends.
right,
And if you're new friends and just joining us, welcome.
right. Yes, welcome. A big inspiration for me is, and I can't remember his freaking name right now. He was in Walk Like a Man. He was Bobby's voice in Bobby's World. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a stand-up comedian. Really great guy. And the thing is, he has absolutely paralyzing stage fright until he gets into performance mode. And like I want to say Howie Long. I want to say Howie Long or Howie Day, something like that. Hey everybody, Shiloh's back! Yay! Uh, Huey Lewis? I don't know. We haven't heard
No.
any news on them. Ah,
Huey Lewis in the news. Good one. You going back to the future on me? Gonna
great
go back
Scott!
in time?
He's got to get back in time. I,
Right?
I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I
Me
used that voice.
either.
Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, I like. See, ironically, my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song is not the one you'd think it is. I can't remember the name of it, but it starts off with, "I'm not the kind of person you think I am. I'm not the Antichrist or the Iron Man."
I thought for sure you were gonna say all aboard. The crazy train.
No, you'd think, but believe it or not, knowing that I'm crazy hurts freaking terribly. I make it into a joke, but like it.
Mm.
Oh, no way. I
We
mean, it's
have to be crazy in this world, Cassidy.
yeah, but there's a different kind.
It's a crazy world, so we have to adapt.
Katie. Okay, now we can start. Katie's here.
Hi, Katie.
We weren't. Yeah. We love you, Katie. All right, let's get this going. Let's get this road on the show. Oh, wrong button. All right. Okay. Coffee time in 3, 2, 1.
Disclaimer. No longer matters who's crazy and who's not. The world is on fire and no one is going to put it out for us. No matter your race, religion, or creed, we are all in this together. Questions and comments from anyone on any topic are welcome, so long as everyone is having fun. Life is short and nobody gets out alive, so be kind and let's have some fun. Welcome to Morning Coffee with the Lions Pride. Here's your host, Cassidae Lightwing.
Hello and welcome to Coffee Time with the Lion's Pride with your host Cassidy Lightwing the Lion. And I am Kristin Harding. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, first comments of the day go to Bobby with "Hello, my people," and Vic with "Hey all" from Vic. And thank you for putting that on there because the Facebook user thing. Thank you. I
Yes.
don't know why it's not picking up all the comments, but here we go.
Mhm.
And then we have Gary with "Hello, hey Gary." So, and that's the first 3 comments. They win. Uh-huh. And since we actually going to have prizes soon, that's actually going to mean something. But that's okay. And we cannot forget Katie. Oh, what? That's not Katie. But
That's not
congratulations to Shiloh on getting out of Facebook jail.
Yay.
There's Katie. Good morning,
Hi,
Katie.
Katie.
And then we have Candace with
Morning.
"Hello, friends."
Morning. I find it fascinating too that you think it's morning. It's 7 o'clock at night here.
Morning is whenever my brain starts to light up. So often morning is 11 o'clock at night. I'm not going to lie. I am a nocturnal person. It's ironic, but there's actually medicine for the condition that makes me nocturnal. It's,
Mhm.
it's it's all connected to that fucking weird gene.
Firecrack.
Dang it!
That's okay. Everyone lets an Effenheimer slip every now and again.
Yeah, but before the car accident, he said in quotes, it was really the lizard Illuminati people. But no, before the
Mm.
car accident, I had absolute control over my language. So it's so frustrating to me. Like and this is no lie or exaggeration. One of my backup plans was a UN translator. By the time the accident happened, I could speak Japanese, French, Latin, Greek. I was learning Portuguese and English. So it was just all these
Wow.
language things are so frustrating to have lost all that. You know what I mean? Like I could speak in iambic pentameter if I wanted to. I mean, it was what caught Shannon's attention. You know what I mean? When and made it and got us to be best friends. And it's so frustrating to have lost all that. Anyway,
Well, I will tell you that what was lost can be found again.
oh yeah,
Because I say an occasional French phrase to you, you know what I'm saying.
oh yeah, it's still all in there. It's just a matter of rewiring your brain. Truth be
Right.
told, and this is a lesson. Like this is a walk the walk kind of lesson. If it meant that much to me, I would have rewired it that way. But I
Hmm.
had other crap to do. Like
Right.
I losing my art was not on the table.
No.
So very first thing was reconnecting to my ability to draw. But like we'll have people on the show from time to time who knew me back then, and they'll tell you like Cassidy's speech was an absolutely garbled mess for the first few weeks after the accident. You know,
But it's not any longer.
I'm getting better.
Look how far you've come.
And that's how you know I'm not a cult leader because a cult leader can't say they were wrong, and I know I'm wrong.
Hmm.
I'm a giant crasshole. So haha. Whoa, can't censor that one. I don't need
Ooh, that was clever.
I have to admit I rehearsed that one. But yeah, no, it's just a matter of knowing what you're doing wrong. Then you can change. People can change because they are people. Doom, 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 doom. People can change because they are people. You're in charge of your brain, don't you know? Make it go one way or go the other. The choice is yours, and I don't have a rhyme because you're people. Oh, no, you can change. Yeah, dude, we got to do that. We got to act. We should actually do that one. We really should.
I think enough time has gone by where you could get away with it without any problem.
Yeah, I don't think we can actually like ask Jim Morrison
Yeah,
anymore.
right. Have an hotline. How may I help you?
Um, actually, both. That's one of the ironic things of the show is like my family is on this giant crusade because they're thinking I'm talking crap, but from the very beginning, and I remind people very frequently, my memories are scrambled. If my family hears a story that's not true, I'll like admit it publicly, and you guys have seen me do it. Like the time my mom corrected me, I never lived in New York. I lived in New Jersey.
Right.
No!
And
So
my favorite one, that you didn't hurt that little boy.
yeah, that I did
I
not kill
mean,
Fisher.
you did not end his life.
Yeah. We're not supposed to say words like kill. So I'm not gonna say kill anymore unless I can help it. And so I'm gonna kill the habit of saying kill.
Okay.
We
Killer.
guys. Anyway, no, I'm gonna try to be better. I really am. But yeah, no, that was
Oh,
one of the
that's a very old reference to Flip Wilson and his boyfriend, when in drag. The boyfriend's name was Killer.
ah.
So yeah, a very old reference. I didn't expect you to catch, but I just wanted you to understand I didn't mean you.
Well, I did recognize the name Flip Wilson.
Good.
So to answer your question,
A
like
very talented entertainer in the 60s and 70s that transcended the, shall we say, laws of the dime.
right.
Um,
So to answer your question, it's not like my short-term memory was affected, granted, but
mhm.
self-discipline methods. I mean, and anybody can learn to increase your memory. I mean, like I'm not actually ashamed to admit this, but at one point, in order to help motivate myself to rebuild my short-term memory, I was doing those, like porn memory games where you match two and then you can see a little bit more of the girl behind, you know. You do what you got to do, motivate yourself any way you can. And quite frankly,
I played Cafe World.
well, okay, that would work too. But you understand, I was in a very bad place, so I had to utilize emergency methods to motivate myself. And boobies are a pretty good motivator for guys. I'm sorry, you know.
You know what helped me get out of a lot of grief, a lot of depression, a lot of loneliness, a lot of fear of missing out?
Hmm,
Was just getting out there. Like, for me, it was karaoke.
hmm. I'm gonna
If I ever wanted attention, I didn't want bad attention. I was tired of that.
I'm gonna finish answering the question before we lose any more viewers. We've lost 3. Okay, so to answer your question, it's not so much that I lost the short or long term, so much as my interpretation of everything has been scrambled. I have a very hard time interpreting the real world, you know? So yeah, finally I got to answer the question. And that well, I'm not the it wasn't your fault. I was the one going all over the place. So don't think I'm blaming you. So yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I went this direction. I mean, I basically can't be a professional scientist because of it. There's not a whole lot of things I can do. So I leaned into the art, spirituality, comedy. And now we have a show. Yeah, he says too much catnip will do that. Nuh-uh. Catnip does not affect me. I am a perfectly normal person. It's you guys that are strange.
Golly, you sounded just like the dude in Resident Alien there.
I practice his voice.
Mm.
I'm okay. I'm a big fan of the actor whose name I can't remember all of a sudden because it's me. I tend to remember him as Wash from Firefly and Serenity. Yeah, you wouldn't know it to watch the roles because they tend to be like, even in serious roles, he brings an element of goofy to it, but he is actually a very, very fine actor. I'm adjusting my little thingies really quick there. There we go. Amethyst, long time no see. So yeah, we're going to be talking about near-death experiences later, and I can't remember what we're going to be talking about. Oh yes. So I wanted to take a minute to, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible and funny too. I wanted to explain part of what's going on in the background, why the shows have been erratic, is the personal tragedy that I've been dealing with in this household has been just compounding out of control, and I'm kind of succumbing to it. I mean, look at my face. I'm visibly losing muscle. And that's not a good place to be. So I just wanted to say that's it is what it is, you know. So I've been setting up barriers, and hopefully things will be sane. You know, basically, it's kind of like a message in a bottle to a certain someone who knows who she is. I don't mind taking my lumps for the things I've done. You know, I have a terrible temper, and when my gut gets going, the more my gut gets going, the crazier I sound, and it hits a point where I literally start losing track of what's real. And that's a problem when you're having mesentery seizures. It is a medical issue. You see what I mean? So I got no problems taking my lumps. Okay, if my daughter wants to yell at me for that, that's fine. See, folks, there comes a point in parenting, and I've been looking forward to this point since I found out I was going to be a daddy. There comes a point where you have to sit in the hot seat and let your kids blow off their steam because we all make mistakes. They don't come with a manual, you know. So I've been looking forward to that point of my daughter, confronting me with where I screwed up so that we can work together and end this cycle.
Right.
But at the same time, so like I've been looking forward to, believe it or not, the unleashing of her anger, my daughter's anger. Not Shar, obviously. But here's the thing, and the reason why I'm saying this is because this is for everybody. Everybody needs to know this. Okay, we all have the urge to transfer sometimes. Like we're super angry at our boss, so we come home and yell at the wife. That's like the classic. I mean, even George Carlin made a joke about that. Chickens are decent people. You never hear of a rooster coming home and beating the crap out of his hen, do you? That's because they're decent people. Yeah, all hail George Carlin. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, we all transfer. We all do it. But here's the problem. When you're transferring like that, there can be no resolution. Okay. So the problem is, I mean, I'm not a perfect parent. I'm probably a pretty terrible parent. But no good can come of laying at my feet all the crap my dad did to my mom before I was born. And I have this medical condition prevents it. As a dad, and I want you to hear this, sweetie, if you ever see this, I should have the strength to take it in the face. I should. I'm your dad, And for those of you out there who are saying, well, if you're a trans person, why are you do the male thing? Because my kids need a dad, not two moms, Now, that being said, they've always been able to come to me as Mama Jenny. So they actually get two moms and a dad. Booyah.
Bonus.
Exactly. Yeah, but it is director, and yeah, exactly, Vic. No, you're absolutely right, and that's why the continuing thing that we're trying to get across to Sarah is we do not blame you, we do not judge you. As soon as you're ready to speak calmly, I'll be here. But this medical condition literally prevents me from being able to absorb this, and that's not on her. But
sometimes when emotion is that raw, it comes out in such a brutal way, and you're not in any condition right now to take that.
Right. And essentially, Sarah doesn't realize this, but she's restarting the same mental and emotional torture that my mother's been putting me through since I was 9. It was literally never my fault these things happened, you know? So with Sarah, and I'm trying to put this in a way that doesn't paint her in a bad light, because what she's doing isn't bad, it's just misplaced. Okay, but while she's so busy yelling at me for the things that Edward did to Laverne, Sarah's not getting any reconciliation.
Right.
She's not getting any catharsis. She's not getting what her dad did off her chest because she's so busy with this other crap that happened before either of us were born, you know?
Isn't it funny how unhealed trauma visits itself on the next generation without
Yes.
any intention?
Yes. That's why it's so important to heal. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I forgive my mom too. I forgave her for all this when I was 12. I understand transference. I do. I get it. At the same time, can't tolerate it. So, like I said, this is for everybody. When you're upset, when you're angry, when you're truly, truly hurt, remember to keep it on point. Because if you're yelling at your partner or yelling at yourself about what didn't happen, you're not getting any closure on what did happen. You
Right.
see?
Well, ask yourself also, is there anything that you can do about it?
Exactly.
And if you can't, then you've got to let it go.
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing. I'm having to walk the walk, you know.
Hi,
So this is
Donnie.
so this is a public message to her. We still got your back. I'm still your dad. Okay, nothing can ever change how much I love you, and this is not your fault. It's not even really Laverne's fault either. If it's anybody's fault, it's Edward's.
Rest in peace, Edward.
Yeah, and I do mean that.
So do I.
But yeah, exactly. It's transference. It's literally textbook transference what we're going through. My mom and I went through mutual therapy, the whole 9 yards. My mom put effort. Hey, I'm saying my mom. Ah, I've been saying
Mm-hmm.
Laverne lately.
Yeah,
No, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
that's
No,
wonderful.
my mom put real effort into trying to not do this. She really, really did, and she really, really does. And I understand why she flipped out this time. But no, we're not doing this anymore. I'm sorry I was born, Laverne. Leave me alone. And that's what transference can do. Take it too far, next thing you know, you're screaming at your grandkids for crap that happened when you were 12, you know? It doesn't heal a damn thing. It doesn't make you feel any better. All it does is spread the pain around, you know? And again,
Mm-hmm.
we're all guilty of transference. We all do it from time to time. I may do it a little more than others, maybe. But that's why we have to talk to each other and be willing. That's why they say if your friend truly loves you, they'll be harsh with you, you know?
Oh, yeah. Tough love.
Hmm.
Even though you don't like to do it, sometimes you must.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan. He knows what I mean. Vic says offloading bad emotions onto the younger generation. Exactly. And it's not acceptable. And basically, and again, as a son and a father, I should be able to take it on the face. I really, really should. But my gut will split, and I'll start throwing up blood. And
I'll write you a note too.
yeah. So, I mean, I literally am dying. That's not a rumor. That's not an exaggeration. However, I'm dying less and less less and less as time goes on. Like I'm beating it very, very, very slowly, but it brought me so close to death. I mean, I basically got disemboweled, folks. Um, so I'm dying less and less, but it's still classified like it medically it is still organ failure and organ necrosis. So got to beat that. I love you too, sis.
So prayers and light work And happy thoughts and faith and trust are always welcome.
Mm-hmm. And love and patience wins the day, folks. It hurts a bit more. I'm not going to lie, but it wins the day. So I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm saying that I'm going through personal tragedy, and I want people to know, because I don't want anybody trying to think that I'm trying to say, "Oh, look at me, I'm so high and spiritual." Uh, have you met me?
I have.
So for the nature of transparency, so people don't start with that. So combination of transparency, and this is a teachable moment for all of us, myself included. You know, I mean, when you grow up with a parent who's using transference becomes one of the first things in your toolbox that you want to reach for. You have to constantly put it away. Not constantly, consciously. You bitch. I love you too.
Oh, because she called you a wimp?
Yeah. Oh, no, you guys got to understand. Back home, Chrissy was like, okay, that came out wrong. I didn't mean that as in giggity. I was purring because of the greatness. So like, okay, so standards of beauty were a little bit different back home. So you understand what I'm about to describe is like considered like stone drop dead gorgeous. She was huge, like a tigress should be. And here I am, this tiny little runt. So it was like, I think I came up to like her, like the bottom of her rib cage, I think. So we're in the process of getting this translated to art for the books for Susan Rawls' Guardians books. So yeah.
That'll be fun to see. And Christy, he made a joke earlier about all the places you couldn't get to, and he could. Just saying.
Well, yeah, that's the advantage of being the run. I maintain, folks, if my visions hold out to be true, I'm the littlest of my brothers and sisters. But that means my job is to get in where others can't. But that's why I can say to you guys truthfully and without any hint of irony or ego, it doesn't matter where the enemy hides you. I will find you, and I will bring you home. Although not in this case. In this case, it's a get in, then open the gates for big brothers and sisters, because there's gonna have to be a reckoning here. I think we can all agree. Could you read Candace's comment, please? This
I
is very,
shall.
very, very, very poignant.
I shall. Candace says, my mother has never forgiven her father for how he psychologically abused the family. Even though my mother lived an upstanding life and was a great parent, it poisoned us to some degree. Those
Yes,
family
ma'am.
traumas, man.
Yeah,
I
they'll
I
get you.
grew up I grew up in a German family, and I kind of understand the psychological stuff that went on. And boy, that wouldn't be tolerated now. That's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah. And what Candace says there is basically the exact problem. Edward, the problem is like the mother's side of the family hates him so much and they fear him so much that they've transferred it to me. And my dad's side of the family, Edward's side of the family, thinks he's so great and wonderful, and why can't you just be like him? So they hate me. Reality is, Edward wasn't a monster and he wasn't a saint. He was just a guy. He was the best father you could ask for until he went on his cocktail of elevation drugs. Then shit got so crazy that it overshadowed everything.
Mhm.
But that's why I say 98% best dad ever. Some people have argued for 96. Okay, fair enough. You know,
Mhm.
so an important part of my healing journey was recognizing what percentage of my life that actually went on in, and it was actually pretty small. You know, it's just that it was so damn crazy. And so that's the exact problem. That's his psychological manipulation and abuse. I mean, he ran his life like he was a cult master, and it affected everybody. I mean, he did bad things to Laverne, my mom. He did bad things to a lot of people. But he kept that side so well partitioned off, like most cult leaders, that his family never knew it was happening.
Wow.
So they think I'm just talking mad crap about my dad, and I'm really not. I really, really am not. I mean, How many dads how many human fathers out there would go dumpster diving, risking going to jail, like from Harvard and Yale for old textbooks just to make sure his son got the education?
Wow.
I mean, come on. Like I said, 98% best dad ever.
Amethyst asks, are you a twin flame?
Oh, yes, absolutely. My twin flame is my wife. She's also one of my soulmates. And yes, that causes a vortexual problem. And so anyone out there who's married to their twin flame, I feel sorry. You have my sympathy. We should make like a support group. But that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of anal about. Am I allowed to say anal?
I
Well,
think so.
I'm kind of aggressive because people, like in the modern day, people will say twin flame because it sounds cooler when they mean soulmate, and they don't understand these are different terms for a very, very specific reason. Twin flames test you. All right, they're not meant to be your friend. Okay, they're meant to forge you into something greater. Soulmates are meant to be, all that. And we all know what a soulmate is. So when your soulmate is also your twin flame, it creates a spiritual vortex in your life. And if you can overcome it, okay, people, you say you want a relationship like Gomez and Morticia. That's how you get a relationship like Gomez and Morticia. They are twin flames and soulmates. But by the time we see them in the movies, because after they had a couple of kids, we don't get to see them in the first part of their relationship. I guarantee you it was spicy. By the time we get to see Gomez and Morticia, they've learned to dance with that vortex instead of being crushed asunder by it. You see? And she says, "Have I met any? Have I met any twin flames? I've met a lot. I mean, people come to us all the time with these problems. They're in love with their twin flame, or their twin flame is driving them crazy, or in some cases, the twin flame's trying to kill them. Yeah, I don't think I've ever brought you in on any of those cases, but twin flames can get bad.
I have seen situations like that where it becomes a maniacal desire to extinguish a life because of the possession issue. And it's so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have a lot of experience. That's basically twin flames, twin souls, soulmates, all that stuff. That whole area is basically our bread and butter. Relationship counseling, relationship healing, like spiritual relationship counseling, not like licensed actual relationship. I have a license for spiritual counseling. But Amethyst says, and don't worry, Jilly Bean and Eric, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just waiting for a good place to acknowledge your comments. Actually, sometimes they do, and quite frankly, I know it's going to sound heartless, but that's actually a blessing. The best is when they die within a few minutes of each other, like holding hands. That's the best.
Like in The Notebook.
Yeah. And we actually had a case of that. It made the news just like last week, this elderly couple, it was like bam, bam, exactly like that. And it was so sweet that it got reported in the news, which is, by the way, a sign that things are going to get better, because they're starting to realize that happy news is better than bad news.
Right.
So Candace says the same deal with my mom. I think her dad had borderline personality disorder. His family and the community had no idea what he was like at home. That's always the way it is with narcs, though. And that's the terrifying thing. That's why those of us who have survived a relationship with a narc will tell you don't know until you've been through it. Like one of their favorite tricks, the one my dad used, was do abuse that was so insanely bad no one would ever believe it.
Right.
Again, only while he was on his drugs, but still,
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go up there. Jilly Bean says she might be moving to New York with Eric. Go east or go west, not east. I'm telling you. But either way, I wish you guys well. Eric's a good guy. He says, I will protect her with my life, Dad. Good. I have to say to that, Right. Dun, dun, dun. She says the queen and her husband, I think, were twins. I wouldn't know. I don't keep up on that kind of thing. I should, but I don't. She says that was strange. They died so close together. Well, maybe they really did have true love, you know? See, the thing is, and this is actually one of the things I like about movies like Frozen, true love can exist in multiple forms. People think of true love as the hot, sweaty, you're my mate forever, true love. But I mean, you also have true love for your children.
Mm-hmm.
There's true love between friends, true love between family members, like, like like in Frozen, the true love in there, the true love's kiss was the sisters, Love
And
is
in
everywhere.
Maleficent,
Love is everywhere. You only have to look. Just remember not to take it to the sticky place like I did. What were you saying?
I was saying that in Maleficent, the
Oh, yeah,
remake of Sleeping Beauty, the
that's the other
true
one.
love kiss that woke Sleeping Beauty was Maleficent.
Yeah, I think that's the movie that started the trend. I actually really liked Maleficent. A lot of people don't because some people don't. Oh, you're just a simp. Somebody actually called me a simp on Twitter because in the argument, I'm like, oh, okay. Let's
My
see.
goodness. My goodness. Oh, I call my granddaughter Beastie till this day. She knows what it
Me
means.
wee beastie, let's go to the zoo. And out of context, that sounds real bad.
It really does. I meant more as Maleficent called Aurora Beastie.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she? It's
Yeah.
been a minute. We saw that movie right before right before my gut blew up. So it's been a minute. I have to rewatch it.
Good
Right
thing I
before
have
the
a copy.
disembowelment.
Every time you say that, it just hurts.
I try to make it a joke because I lost everything. Like I lost my career. I even partially lost my wife. I mean, it's hard to keep attraction to a skeleton wearing a sheet when you married a guy that could lift a car for extra cash. So not like lift, but do the one side like the Jack not named Jack job. I used to do feats of strength for extra money. Tourists love it, especially the Japanese ones. So sorry, I spun off emotionally, but yeah, I lost everything. So I try to make it into a joke because it hurts too bad. And that was one of those things where you lose your entire life path all at once.
Mm.
So I was like, I couldn't even continue doing my work even after my gut calmed down because I lost all my equipment. So it's like, crap, now what? And the spirit said, how about a show?
New chapter.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Right. Isn't it good? Oh, you are always welcome, Amethyst. And since you're part of the old crew, I want to let the old crew know promises are fulfilled. We are where we promised to be. It got slowed down because of all the drama and people trying to cancel us, but we're here now. So,
And good things
booyah!
are coming.
Mm-hmm. I proved it.
Yes, you did.
I like doing that. Harumph, I say. But I don't have anything to harumph right now. Kristin, say something I can harumph.
Eric says you got your light wings family dad-in-law.
Yep, I do. And that's actually deeper and more spiritually true than you're implying. Like the fact that we got Char buried legally as Lady Char Lightwing.
Mm-hmm.
Confirm! I'm going to assume you are Eldon, but you're not telling us who you are. You are hiding behind the cloak of Parapham.
Whoever you are, you're welcome.
I'm trying to be funny while my heart is weeping. So, like, if you're gonna hear my sinuses filling up, this is called performance. Right now, I'm It's getting past the grief. Kristin, I'm going to pass the show, yeah, I'm falling apart in real time.
It's okay.
Please take over.
Absolutely. Let's talk about near-death experiences. Show of hands in the audience. If you've had a near-death experience, what did you see? How did it happen? You know, what caused this to transpire? And what did you come back with? I have my own story that I can tell. Well, stories, because I'm a cat. I have 9 lives. But yeah. So, what about you, Cass? How many near-death experiences have you had?
Many human warriors thought they have slayed me. I have 3 that I can track on record, that I can prove.
Okay.
However, what happens in the streets, and I guess I can tell you guys personally that in my experience, the old stories are true. Your 3rd trip back, you bring something with you from the other side.
Mhm.
In my case, it was the understanding of how to get people to connect. I like to call it the rainbow connection. I found the rainbow connection. The trouble is, my difficulty with speech is preventing.
The translation of the rainbow connection.
Mhm. But some people say you always bring something back with you, and maybe that's true. But in my experience, every 3rd trip back, you bring something.
Mm.
And that
I came back with more compassion, more understanding, more realization that we're all connected and here for a reason, and that it's not just random.
I like that. I like that. I like that. That would be nice to see the mechanics and like
Mm.
the way you do once you're out of reality with a near-death experience. See the mechanics for that. And then I could put it away, put that doubt away, because I'm operating on pure faith.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once the Schottenjäger community realized that I had a head wound, guess where they hit first? So yeah, I've had some experiences. Um, living in an ultra Christian community with these abilities is not fun.
Mm.
I've told you guys before, I like to call them buffies out of disrespect, but every once in a while, when you have an ability, somebody eventually will decide you're the devil.
Mm.
But exactly, Christy.
Mm.
Candace says she can hear cats meowing. Yeah, they're right here looking for food, but I don't have no food. So it's like Eric says banana. Facebook says, what classifies as a near-death experience? Well, there's a couple of answers for that. The first answer would be when they can medically register that your brain activity has shut off, but then it starts up again.
Mm.
I think that's the best way to say it, because that is something that can speak to all different faiths that have a point of view on NDEs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For mine, it was an actual out-of-body experience. And I'm not giving away any secrets. It's, it happened. It was really real, Dave. But I was a young mom. I had just had a baby. And on the 8th day, I had what's called an 8th day hemorrhage. And my husband felt like something was wrong and tried to call me, couldn't get a hold of me, and knew I would answer the phone if I was home. Because back in those days, we had landlines. And he didn't get an answer. So he, in the middle of a lunch rush, put down everything and came home. And I had my son was back in his bedroom in his crib, and my second child was in their like pack and play. But I was on the floor, and that's where my body was. But my spirit, my soul, my consciousness, whatever, was looking at what was happening from like above me, like floating on the ceiling, looking at me like, what's going on here? And that was the wildest thing. And then my husband came in, and he saw my condition, and he leaned over me and he said, "I can't do this without you." And boom, I flew back into my body. Oh my goodness. And the next thing I knew, I started coming around and he called the ambulance and I'm still here.
Yeah, I like that story. It's one of my favorites. As the spirits went doink, and he said, "I gotta go home."
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a very good definition too. It's or maybe it's better said it's a sign that it's happened. I don't know. But there are so many different versions and takes on it. Like I can share my personal views, which is a little bit weird. Big surprise, right?
I'm like, come on, do you know us?
My personal views align, big surprise, with the Egyptian, with the Egyptian metaphysical take on things. It's basically a near-death experience is whenever your consciousness traverses the duat, which happens very frequently. The thing is one of the philosophies that I carry from home, and I've noticed some people have it here. Basically, every time you fall asleep, you die. You wake up a new person. Now, granted, linear perceptions of reality make that a problem.
There was a show called My Hero, and literally the space alien baby thought that the world was dying when it was asleep. So it predicted all these people's death, and it wasn't death at all, it was just sleep.
See, and then people wonder why this phase of first contact is a thing. That reminds me of the Drizzt Do'Urden books when Drizzt first comes up out of the Underdark into the world. It's fall, and then so he witnesses the passing of seasons he's a dark elf, so he's witnessing the passing of seasons for the first time, and he swears he's come up into some kind of apocalypse, and he's witnessing the world die, and it was funny.
How is that funny?
Well, just that the idea that the author R.A. Salvatore took the time to put that culture shock into the character, and so he has these almost childlike perceptions on the world. In the Dungeons and Dragons universe, the Underdark is the name for like the networks of caves and whatnot, and it's a very, very tremendously evil place. It is, yeah. So it's like they're dark elf, they're drow. I mean,
I have one question.
yeah.
Did he get to experience spring?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He in his adventures during that winter, he meets a druid, and the druid kind of guides him through how the surface world and nature and whatnot work. So, yeah, no, you got to read the Drizzt books. Oh my God, they're so good. They're so good that they have spawned an annoying fan base. Like when you go to a con, you're going to meet at least 3 people who think you don't realize that they base their character on Drizzt. So,
But you're in the know.
well, yeah, I've read most of the books. I haven't read if you guys know the books I'm talking about. I read the first book of the Giant series, and that's when the crisis started. So I kind of lost. I haven't had the time or the ability to buy a book for a while.
Mm-hmm.
When I get free money, it usually goes to the gaming channel. Do you want to read? Do you want to read this? That seems pretty important.
It says, people think that when their heart stops, they have died, but your brain activity needs to stop, right? Question mark. Many have said that they see themselves during surgery as well. I have heard of that also.
See, from my people's perspective, the Lyran perspective, you're not dead until all 3 of your
Well, that gets into your
brains
physical
stop.
body. What?
I was trying to find the right word, but basically, you're not dead until all 3 are done. If even one of the 3 is still up, you're still alive. Keep fighting.
Yep.
But then again, our perception of things continues after. So even
But
then,
then,
keep fighting.
but then there's the physical body, and your soul, and your oversoul. That part of you that is so wise that if you can tap into it, you're not going to have any problems. Eric's wifey says, when I was born, I came out with a cord around my neck. I was turning purple and I couldn't breathe. That happens in my family too. It's a genetic thing. Wow. It's kind of scary though.
Yeah, Jilly Bean did not have an easy start in life. That is her story to tell, and someday when she grows up a little and comes on the show, she'll tell you guys all about it. When she can learn to control her mouth. And notice I didn't say mouth. I said mouth. M-O-U-F-F. Mouth. She got a mouth on her, which I'm pretty proud of.
Donnie says, I'm eating Italian potato pie. I don't know what Italian potato pie is, but we grew up with Teddy pie, which was basically cream and potatoes and cheese and chives, and it was wonderful. But I think that's a Cornwall origin thing. I don't know.
Well, if it's a sweet potato pie, I just have to say,
I've never cared for sweet potato pie, but you know what I love? Sweet potato French fries.
actually,
They're wonderful.
I can't, like, I still want to throw them up, but those are really good. Yeah, there's
And you
something
want
about,
to throw them up because you're an obligate carnivore eating veggies? Is that what you're calling us?
I don't think so, because back before the thing when I still could actually at least pass vegetables, I could eat harsher veggies and not have a problem. There's something about sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts, like they come in and they go right back out, you know?
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, it's so intense that, like, even my dad was like, okay, he doesn't have to eat Brussels sprouts or sweet potatoes. Anything else he put on my plate, I better goddamn well eat it. But it was like he experimented, and I tried. I really tried. I wanted to be a good kid, and quite frankly, they're yummy,
I still think Brussels sprouts, lima beans, and cooked carrots are child abuse.
I can't disagree. Gary says, would you get a chance if you committed suicide?
Would you get a second chance if you committed suicide? I have a theory about that. What about you, Cass? You tell us yours first.
Well, from what I observe, yeah, you do. You just have to essentially sit through all the pain you've caused. What people don't realize is that when you commit suicide, you do not end the pain. You just put it on everybody around you.
Right?
And karmically speaking, that's not okay. It's a form of transference, actually. So from my observation, by talking to spirits who are in fact going through this process, if you commit suicide, that's fine. It's not like an eternal damnation thing, but you got to sit there and wait, and the pain does not end. The pain you were running away from, it does not go away, and now you don't get you have to sit there and wait until everybody is healed.
Right. There's no resolution until that healing comes.
Yeah.
The way I look at it. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you finished?
I just had one more point to say. So that's why, like, people who have had a suicide in their family, they get really super defensive. And then there's also this other spiritual, like, if you commit suicide, you're going to hell. That's one of the reasons why this issue is so spiky and imminent and urgent in the human psyche. People need to know. So those of you who have loved ones who've committed suicide, no, they're not damned eternally. Okay. It's going to be all right. God, source, spaghetti monster, whatever you want to put it, cannot simultaneously be infinite love and patience and forgiveness, and you go to hell forever if you do this one certain thing.
Not a vengeful God.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No. And may I give you my view now?
Yes.
So when our life ends, we go back, ere the clay pot breaks, we go back to source, right? And when we get there, we talk about all that we've learned, and we're asked, have you seen everything you wanted to see? Have you done everything you wanted to do? Have you experienced life to the fullest? And if the answer is yes, you get to rest. You get as long as you want to rest. And then someone or something will tug at you whether it's an unresolved trauma or whatever, and you'll come back. And whether it's another family member or a friend or just a passerby who says something to you one day out of the blue, and it changes your life forever.
Yeah.
It happens.
If you pay attention, yeah, the universe can teach you that way. Through random things. Eldon says, that's why I have to ask. And I keep thinking it means non-disclosure agreement.
An NDA, not an NDE.
So he asks, is it an NDE or consciousness awakening? And that's actually a really poignant question, because from a certain point of view, it's a consciousness awakening, and the near-death experience is merely how it manifested in 3D. That
facing your mortality.
Yeah. So for people like us, like I'm talking like, EBEs, Lyrans, I'm not really sure how Pleiadians see it, so I can't comment. But like, we're more energy being than we are, or spirit being, if you will, than we are physical. So from my perspective, basically Eldon has a point. From my perspective, the near-death experience is just how it's manifesting. It's one of the reasons I can be so calm about crap. I consciously saved the fire truck. The school children have been saved. The building is no longer on fire. Yeah.
Well played, master. Well played.
No, but Eldon
And
has a good point.
I use the master in reference to being a teacher, not like, yeah.
See, you brought it up. I was good. I kept that giggity under control. Laura was like, Master? Jenny. See, we both have stage names. But anyway. So yeah, Eldon, from our perspective, people like me, I don't know the Pleiadian perspective or how Kristin sees it. Because a little side note, Kristin does Starseed right. She just lets the memories flow and doesn't claim any one thing as her origin, because now she's Kristin. But she has memories from Lyra. She has memories from Vega. Wait, same place.
I'm like, wait, that's the brightest star in Lyra.
Same life path. See, she just allows the starseed memories to flow, and she doesn't try to nail down where they're from, which annoys the crap out of me. But I can see the benefits.
It's the Pleiadian way to annoy you. Yin yang, what can I say?
Oh, dude, Pleiadians and Lyrans work so well together. It should be a sin. Which is an Irish way of saying really, really well.
Okay, Christy, they had to turn.
God.
That's horrible. Hang on. So Christy Wicks and Martindale, they had to turn my youngest 3 times. It was wrapped around his neck 3 times. He was determined to hit the ground running. He has an extremely high IQ, 0 damage, gratefully. Natural birth. Oh, that's wonderful.
That could have gone the other way.
With the little ones in our family, the family trait on one side, not my side, but on one side, wrapped around 3 times with a kink in it. Yeah, not so good.
We had a similar experience with Ray, but not nearly as bad as those. Like basically they gave Shannon way too much pain medication, so he came out purple. Plus she never dilated beyond 7 centimeters. So like he was being squinched by the, so a little bit of light work fixed that right the fuck up. Dang it!
Oh, it's okay. We're almost at the end anyway.
It was a classic Star Trek moment. I actually got to say, get out of the way and let me save this baby's life. At a certain point, like we get to the point, it's like, get the doctors out of the screw you. And the doctors come back in. You messed with it. How is our patient alive? Doctor gave me a pill and grew a new kidney. Doctor gave me a pill and grew a new kidney. What? Star Trek 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about McCoy then.
Yeah, McCoy. I love McCoy because McCoy's like me, and I was a doctor back home too. So it's like, because McCoy looks at the Prime Directive and says, "Nah." So it's like when he was back in time and seeing all these Earth people suffering, he's like, no, doctor's oath, um, preeminates. Either way, he looked.
Dominate.
Yeah. Either way, he looked at the Prime Directive and said, "Not while there is suffering. I defy thee." I maybe take that a little too personally and serious. And I'm not putting that comment up. All right. You guys want to see what Jilly said? You gotta go see the produced version. Sometimes I think she forgets that this is being recorded.
Ah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was funny because Ray was absolutely unresponsive. They poked his feet so many times. Like if you know the procedure, they'll poke a baby's feet with needles in an emergency to get him to breathe, and he was not breathing. He was actually literally dripping blood from both feet. But by the time I said, "All right, that's enough," I swept them out of the way with my mighty arm, not exaggerating. Almost faced assault charges, and leaned down and I purred in his ear. And when I purred in his ear, he went, and they gave me the filthiest look. Like I didn't know babies could do that. Like I thought they were innocent. He looked at me like, "Where the fire truck have you been?"
And like, put me back. It was warm in there.
That's the part Shannon got. I didn't see him conscious at all, but apparently, according to Shannon, he was conscious for a few seconds when they pulled him out, and he looked at her like, "Lady, I don't know who you are, but that sucked."
Oh.
But yeah, he gave me the filthiest look. Like, where? So you got to understand, I purred at him through like I would. I did this for all my children, but so they knew my purr better than they knew my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he knew Daddy's here, you know.
Time
But
to wake up now.
they were about to call it. But that's not nearly as like your guys' situation was way more dangerous and way more gravitas. This is because doctors screwed up and gave him too much medicine. And then I can't even imagine having to be turned 3 times. The pain. Oh my God. I've heard that's more painful than the birth itself.
Parafan says, since learning that even in our sleep we consciously return to our origins, I find comfort in knowing I have nightly conversations and visits with loved ones gone before me. Helps not miss them much. Oh, I still talk to my grandparents like they're right in the next room.
It saved me from becoming a supervillain because on nights when I'm calm enough, Shar and I can play.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And incidentally, and this isn't quite self-promotion so much as we want people to know it's here if they need help. What he's talking about is one of our primary methods when it comes time to use like mystical healing. Basically, exactly. You set up a bonfire of blue flame and stuff gets organized and talked about. I actually had to spend a willpower on that one. You gamers will know what I mean. That word, the wordy dirt really wanted to come out. Can we FaceTime after work? Probably. I seem to be okay emotionally. I seem to be getting better. But again, the compounding family tragedy has been like I have been succumbing. I'm not going to lie. She's been over here like Artax, and I'm like, nope, it's Artax time.
Yeah,
And then she's like, it's a special edition version. You get saved. Okay, fine. Get my Artax ass out of the mud. But yeah, I can try. I try to always make time for you. I don't always have the fortitude between my gut. But yeah, you're worth making time for, sweetie. She's okay. Let me explain. I've decided to go ahead and make this like an official thing so people can stop bugging. Jillian is one of what we're calling the Lightwing kids, which are kind of like an extended adopted family, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Eric says, "Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Do-do-do-do. Boo-do-boo-boo-boo-ba-do-do-do. Everybody look left. Ooh, yeah. Everybody look right. Everybody. Oh, crap. Everywhere you look, I'm standing in the spotlight. Not yet! I may have seen The Lion King once when I was little.
Once? Just once?
All right, so I think we should wrap it up, but at the same time, I kind of like it's this episode's late, but I kind of want us to get used to doing longer episodes. That way, we have more material for the channel. You know. So, folks, we found a way to monetize what we need to monetize, but still bring it to you for free. Ha ha ha!
Hello, Marianne.
So if you Ghost House. And again, I'm never going to stop saying it. Marianne and Ghost House, they put their powers where their mouth are. They help missing it. They have helped. We have worked together on Amber Alerts in progress, and the child came home safely. You know why? Because mess with the best, burn like the rest. And when you mess with the child, we get to. I'm going to need your help expressing this. Fly, you fools. I'm live. I'm live. What? What? Oh, yes. Perfect. Mess with a child, we go wild. Hashtag mess with a child, we go wild. All the restraints that we have go out the window when it comes to protecting a child in progress. There are videos of men burning alive in flashes of white hot blue flame.
Yeah, the spontaneous combustion.
Mm-hmm. You can tell it's us when it's that blue color. And the physicists will say, no, it's that blue color because it's obviously electron release. Doy! What have I been saying? What have I been saying? When we strike, there's a radiation burn. Come on, people. There's videos of it out on YouTube. Cop burns from the bones out in all of his gear. Completely fine. Yeah. I'm losing my crap. Can you please take over?
Well, I think we should end it. It's late.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying Ghost House Paranormal, real life, actual superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, now we can end it.
Well, that's all for now, dear lights. Thank you so much for joining us. Never forget that you are amazing. You are loved. Be well. Be safe out there. And we'll see you on the next show. Bye.
Okay, I can't resist.
Even Satan says don't hurt the little children in the 11 laws. Yeah, it's not in the Bible.
And it's just common sense. Because how do you get Lyrans? You hurt kids. You like Lyrans? Because that's how you get Lyrans. Our primary commandment when we got here was make safe these children. All right, now you can end it.
I thought I just did. But I'll do it again. Because I'm like that. That's all for now, dear lights. Thank you so much for joining us. Never forget that you are amazing. You are loved. Be well. Be safe out there. And we will see you on the next show. Bye-bye.
Wrong button. Okay, found it. Outro. Bye-bye.
That's all the time we have for now, dear lights. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to hit that like button and share with your friends. We have a great many people to reach, but we are only as strong as our signal. The world can be a scary place, but you don't have to face it alone. We love you, everybody. Be safe out there.